Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 745 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, and you know it's Wednesday, and you know what that means. We got Shane Sparks on.
Tacos!
Yeah, Shane,
tacos.
And tacos. What a great day. Shane Sparks and tacos. What a dynamic duo that is. We got JD Raider, Ben Askren, Shane Sparks here. We're going to get full-on preview mode, Penn State, Iowa. I am flying out tomorrow with my son, Caleb Davis Piles. We're going to head to Iowa City. Very excited about that and plenty to get to. But I think first we once again should probably start with the AJ Ferrari front because we got to hear from Coach John Smith, Ben, and Shane.
Did you see that vehicle?
So
unbelievable.
So did we confirm that that's it? Because it's someone just posted a picture.
I have not confirmed. We know it's that guy who posts a lot of BS, so I don't know. But people seem to be thinking that is, and if that is, that is.
Well, like, I don't know who you're. I saw a reply to a bunch of tweets with just a picture of it, and someone asked, "Hey, do you own this tweet?" I didn't know who that person was, but the picture, maybe you can pull it in, JD. If this is actually the car, I mean, miracle of miracles that no one was killed. I don't even understand it, honestly. It is just such a, if you're just listening, like many of you are, it's so mangled Like, it doesn't even look like, you can't tell if it was a car, a truck, or whatever. It's just like, it's just truly just twisted steel. And he, for AJ to survive that is truly insane. And that Isai Rodriguez, I think it was the runner's name that was with him. Yeah, here we go. Tyler's pulling it in.
Yeah.
That is just insane looking. And you can see that it's like black and charred from being on fire.
Yes.
Man, totally nuts. And so Coach Smith had, he and actually the cross country coach is also Coach Smith. He's Dave Smith. We're talking about the athletes and the mayhem around it. And the one thing they were saying was in the initial moments when it happened, there was tons of misinformation out there. Like, this guy's getting airlifted, this thing's happened, that thing's happened. There was like a little bit of chaos there before they figured out who was where. But we've got a clip from Coach Smith talking about the scene and them pulling AJ out from the car. This is from Okali Sports YouTube. Appreciate them posting this for us to see. But yeah, check this out from Coach.
He did tell me that a big man showed up and helped him figure out how they were going to get him out, and they got AJ out, and then all of a sudden this guy was gone, disappeared. I don't know what to think of that, but it's a story that we maybe all be thankful for, and but I'm sure glad he was there. I don't know how many people would go to a car that was on fire and try to pull someone out, but I'm sure glad Coach Dunn was there.
So Coach Dunn, I mean, you want to talk about just kind of a small town community kind of thing, Stillwater, if you've ever been there. But, the fact that the Oklahoma State offensive coordinator, Coach Casey Dunn, was, I don't know how he ended up being like right there, just a coincidence, small town kind of thing. And so he was there helping pulling AJ out with this kind of mystery man who, big guy, helped pull AJ out, and then just poof, like
he's kind of that told Coach Smith because he called him right after.
Coach Dunn,
yes.
Yeah, and he said that Coach Dunn was like sort of frazzled sounding, and kind of had a hard time. But I guess Ben, Shane, any thoughts there? It's I encourage you guys to. It's on the site if you want to listen to the full 30-minute press conference. It's good, but thoughts from Ben or Shane.
Yeah, no thoughts here. I guess too, some scary stuff. I mean, it's been a while since I had a scary almost accident, and I never had anything major, but I had some minor things, and just wow, yeah, it's bad.
I got the chills when I heard Coach Smith say that because, I mean, I'll just say this. I mean, glory to be to God on this. I mean, it's one of those situations where when somebody dies, and I believe this 100%. God's going to take you when it's your time. And a lot of times, people die. It's kind of like their time, right? Obviously, with this, thankfully, it's the other side of the coin. It just wasn't his time yet, because you look at that vehicle. If that is in fact the vehicle, it's a miracle.
Yeah.
Nobody got major. I mean, forget about it. It doesn't sound like anybody got major injuries.
No.
They walked away from that. And that story with that guy, I don't know who it was. But I will say this. God himself might have touched AJ Ferrari. I don't know, but I never tell you what. I mean, guardian angels, whatever. I mean, that stuff, I believe it in 100%. And I'm just thankful that he's safe. And I would also say this, and this is not, I mean, we've all been there. AJ Ferrari is probably 20 years old. I'm guessing right around that. And I really like him. I met him last year at the national tournaments. I loved how authentic and genuine he is. And it was funny because I was on my couch on Instagram watching a video of him weighing in, flexing. And I literally am on the couch laughing because I think it's funny. He entertains me. Yeah. And then I go back to Twitter, and there it is with the accidents. And it did make me think, because I follow him on social media, and I think he's funny, but maybe, with some of the stuff you see from him, feels a little invincible. And he's not the only one. When you're young, you think you're invincible.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking this might change him a little bit, would be my guess. Yeah,
you would think this would be kind of I don't want to say a wake-up call. Maybe that's dramatic, but maybe it is that. Like, hey, man, because as we didn't know yesterday for sure, confirmed. I don't think we talked about it, but that he was passing in a no passing zone, and it caused this head-on collision. That's
you got to be careful driving too. I mean, John Smith said seatbelts save lives. You got to wear your seatbelt, and when you're driving, you got to be. I got, my daughter's going to be getting her license in 2 months. I got I got 2 other sons that drive, and when you have kids that drive, you understand what your parents went through. That's the best thing I can tell you. Like when you're younger and your parents are worried about you, you don't get it, and then you have kids of your own, and it makes you nervous. It scares the heck out of you. So everything ended up all right, and just a real fortunate situation for everybody involved. But be careful. Be careful.
I was talking with David Bray this morning just about that, and Caleb's 10, but I'm like, man, he'll be driving soon because he's freaking 10 now somehow. And I was thinking about all the cross country team. We were just the way at Buffalo Gap, like you all caravan, you drive to every practice. We didn't practice at the school. It was like you go on these back roads, and I drove nuts. I was like, oh my gosh, the Lord was definitely with me because my judgment was poor.
Oh, horrible.
I mean, yeah, my parents, I can't believe they didn't take my license.
When I was driving, I'm ashamed to admit it. I mean, I can't believe I could have been dead, and I probably speak for a lot of us, I could have been dead 100 times. Yeah. I mean, I look at some of the stuff I did in high school beyond, there's stupid, and then there's stupid times 10. And I'm just thankful because these are the things you don't think about when you're 16, 17, 18 years old. You're thinking about yourself. Thank God, I'm just looking at my own life. Thank God I never hurt anybody bad because it very easily could have happened. And again, thank God it didn't because that'd be hard to live with.
Yeah. Small town. Some dude told my dad, snitched on me that I was driving. He said, I saw your son driving fast when I first got my license. And I was so mad at this guy. Because I probably was. I literally got a ticket the next week going like 27 over the speed limit. Not kidding. That was bad. I can't believe I can't believe they.
I will tell you guys this rant real quick. I'll make it 10 seconds long. 16-year-olds shouldn't be driving.
Yeah.
And my kids are 16 and they do drive. And I'll be honest, it's because we're all busy and it's easier. But a 16-year-old should not be driving. They have no idea what kind of power they have. 16-year-olds shouldn't be driving. But I can't feel that strong about it, or I would implement it with my own kids, and I don't. So maybe I'm just lazy.
Should we honestly, should JD be driving? What should we do about this?
JD probably should be driving. I didn't get more mature until like 26.
I think, listen.
I'm an excellent driver.
Take a couple years out. Between the Bird scooters and Uber, you can get around Austin just fine. So
dude,
I think
I ate it on a Bird scooter last time I was
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Hard, so hard.
You and Spay are scooter accident survivors because Spay had a pretty bad wreck on one.
I like those bike taxis in Austin. I always use those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're great.
All right. The cyclists. Okay.
They have full-on mopeds you can rent.
All right, this is Flow Transportation Radio Live. All right, so that's it on AJ. Basically, there was obviously no talk of his return in terms of anything specific. John, obviously, all he said was he might not. We may not see him this year, but he might. It kind of sounds like
part of that, they're obviously not talking about it, but I guess there's just one of the things I thought is when someone pulls you out of a vehicle and it's not because you're injured, right? Because they said he had no broken bones, then likely it's because you're highly concussed of some way, shape, or form, and you don't know where you are, and someone has to help you out, So like if that's and obviously if you hit someone else going head on very fast, that can be a large concussion. I mean, we know small concussions can keep guys out week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
A big one can be a serious. I had a kid that I coached in high school that was out 6-8 weeks with one.
Yeah. And one of the things I think I saw, maybe it was from AJ's dad, was that there was no real head injury. So, but maybe meaning there's no like brain damage, like maybe.
Yeah.
Not that there was no concussion. It would almost be tough to avoid some sort of concussion when you're in an accident like that. So we'll see with AJ if he's able to return. It would quickly become the biggest story in wrestling if AJ Ferrari returns.
Yeah.
Well, for right now, I mean, honestly, they're probably not even at a point where they can even make an assessment, like for a return, for like where he is athletically. So, anyway, still wishing well for AJ and Isai and the other driver who was involved in the accident. So, as more stuff comes out, we'll keep you posted. But that's kind of all we know for the time
Prayers
being.
work for sure.
Baby. Amen. Shane, maybe get some of your thoughts on the weekend that was before we move towards Iowa-Penn State.
Yeah, I heard you guys a little bit this week talking about Michigan-Penn State. And, with these dual meets, you never really know how they're going to go. I mean, I thought just looking at that match with Michigan and Penn State, I'm a big believer in momentum in that first match at 125. Mm-hmm. Suriano gets in with a pretty good attack 10 seconds in, and for the most part, didn't really threaten to score again. I believe he got a riding time point, if I remember right. But yeah, I just thought Michigan was flat. Penn State was controlling center, Michigan backing up quite a bit. With Cole Matten getting injured at 149, that's when the duel was pretty much, it just the wind was out of the sails at that point.
Yeah. And listen, Andy Hamilton got stuck in Michigan, wasn't able to fly out, so he stayed another day there, got some stuff with Coach Goodale of Rutgers, and he had a long sit-down with Coach Bourmet. And Coach Bourmet said it felt like after Matten got hurt and it was, it seemed serious, that he felt like that really affected the team, and that that took some momentum out of it, which you can understand that. And plus also there's the momentum of, man, can we even win this duel now? Yeah. Plus, my buddy just got hurt, not like, a little thing. So
yeah, is there an update on how bad he is? I feel like it's just inside ankle sprain, which can be really painful, and maybe, no break or anything.
That's what it seems like it would have been. I don't know, inside, outside, high, low.
And keep this in mind too. And this is why when you're looking at these top teams in the country, if you want to win a national title, the injuries. I mean, a couple weeks before, we've seen it before with Suriano, whatever year that was when he went down. Penn State, I think, still won that year, but there was 1 year Jason Nolf got hurt. I think Jason Nolf might have got hurt on January 26th, actually, if memory serves me correctly, at Rutgers in the duel.
If you remember that date, that's
I'll
impressive.
Look it up right now. Is
look it up.
Versus Van Brill.
That would be wow.
It might have been the 26th of January. I don't know why. I can't tell you 10 minutes ago, but I may or may not be right on this. My point being is one injury is huge, and we're with Michigan at 149. Kanan Storr should be back soon. So, I mean, if that was if that's Miles Amin or Mason Paris or somebody like that, you're not making those guys up. That's just the reality of it. I'm not a big believer in, everybody's got to step up a little bit more. I think that is like, I cringe when people say that. But that might, getting Kanan Storr back, and I obviously wish Matten the best. But watching that duel, I'm thinking to myself, the physicality of Division I wrestling, especially in the Big Ten, it just, again, it's so hard to win. It's so, because you got to have a million things go right, and if one thing goes wrong, that's it. I mean, as far as winning a national title, that can derail you.
It could. Man,
How about how Aaron Brooks staved off that last attack for Miles? I mean, I'm not sure a Mack truck going 120 miles an hour can knock Aaron Brooks over. I mean, that was incredible to me. Incredible.
Who's the last college person to take Aaron Brooks down?
He got taken down this year, I think.
In a competitive match, not in a competitive one, because obviously there's like Aaron Brooks in non-competitive, and he's probably a little loosey-goosey, and then there's Aaron Brooks in a Parker, Hidley, Miles Amin type match.
I don't think he gave up one at NCAAs last year, did he?
Well, that's what Cam was thinking. And what about Big Tens? It's very difficult to take down.
I don't think so.
Very difficult.
He had a tight match with Nelson Brands because I think he hurt his ankle. He might have been taken down in that match, maybe. If I remember right, he had to rally back in that when he trailed it.
He wrestled him tough. He may have gotten a takedown. That was 14-8. I'm sure he got two at some point. That was January 28th, the Van Brill.
2 days off. Okay.
Well, Shane. Well,
Okay.
that's close. That's close.
Get better. Get better.
Get better. Way better.
How about Kirk Fleet? Heading into this season, the most intriguing guy in the Big Ten for me, and I don't even know who I would say was number 2. Kirk Fleet was the most intriguing guy, number 1 recruit in 2019, and I'm trying to remember his path. Was it Minnesota, Oklahoma State, Ohio State? Had some injuries.
He actually only went to Ohio State, but he committed to the other 2 also.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And I thought, last year he wasn't healthy. Now he's got he's healthy. He's got a year in that Penn State room. I was not surprised, maybe a pinch surprised. That's it. Kirk Fleet is a stud. He's a stud. And I loved what he did. I mean, it appeared they had him scouted very well. Paris offensively. Just couldn't get on the tracks. But you know what I love? And I'm curious about you guys on this, especially at heavyweights. And Ben, I think, Ben, you were a snatch single guy too, right? Mainly, I remember you in freestyle, right?
Absolutely. I love
snatch singles to me are so, especially at that weight class, you're not going on your knees. Snatch a single leg. I look at snatch singles like foot sweeps. I don't know why we don't. I love foot sweeps too. Like don't get caught underneath. Like don't go on bot. Like stay on your feet if you can. He was Kirk Fleet's match. Took him down 3 times. I think he rode him.
I think the feel necessary for a foot sweep is really the feel you have to have is like it's something that looks really simple when someone really good at it does it, but like I think developing that feel, not everyone can do it. And then snatch singles are that's something you can drill and it's really easy, but like I feel like the timing required, like we saw Kirk Fleet had, I think that's the hard part. And I remember I've asked Ben about this, and Ben, you've always talked about like just having an understanding of the timing.
Yeah. Like the other thing on a high single specifically, and if we're talking specifically about heavyweight, it's even to a higher percentage, is that you can try them a lot with very little risk, right? And that's a big factor. So our risk reward is good because while the reward may not be good, while I might have to try 6 or 8 or 10 times to get his leg, the risk is very low, right? And then in addition to that, I'm generally going to keep him pretty off. If I'm actually making good attempts, I'm going to keep him off balance and not let them get back into me. If I get close and he sprawls, I can come right up to an underhook or a seatbelt. So once you understand that there's a lot of benefit. It is hard. I always say really, really short people and or upper weights, right? And the middle weights, it just doesn't work nearly as much. There's been a couple guys, but not very many.
With foot sweeps, I always think about Cole Conrad. I mean, in the last 20 years, his was money.
Mako too. Mako was the best.
Mako. Yeah. Maybe I'm getting confused. Conrad have a foot sweep?
He did a couple times, but not to Mako.
Mako was like known for it.
Mako was a foot sweep legend. Yeah. I do think
he had a judo background.
I do think though this is what I just went off on this on the Mental Monday that I did. Is just like college guys. There's 3 things that they love to do. I don't know, just about something about being like 18 and 22-year-old male. Toughness, conditioning, and strength. But it's easy to, I don't want to say max them out, but it's easy to get to a point where you're not going to get very many returns on them. Right, where you're maybe going to get a little bit stronger, a little bit in better shape, which it's important to do that, obviously. But where you can make the huge gains is technique. And so, like to your point, Shane, if a heavyweight, if they took the time to develop a foot sweep, and they could, that would be beneficial. If they took the time to develop a high single, that would be really beneficial. So, like adding new technique to your arsenal is where you're going to get the biggest returns as a college athlete. But most college athletes lock into kind of what they do, and they just try to do what they do better, as opposed to saying, hey, I have 5 years here. Let me add some new wrinkles to my game.
You know, as a sneaky, decent little foot sweep that he only kind of hits against lesser opponents, but Marinelli, when he cuts them.
Yeah, Marinelli's got a good one.
I like the foot prop for heavyweights, not sweep, but the prop where you just kind of like trip them over
drop your
off
foot
balance.
and then just like,
Yeah, that's kind of a foot sweep still. I mean, because you can do it from in tight. I mean, I find, obviously, so Mako would do it from a collar tie. I find foot sweeps to be really effective from overhook, underhook, 2-on-1 type situations, right? Where I'm in tight and I'm pushing, I get them to push back, and then boom, and then I time it right, I put them on their ass. That's really nice. And then But yeah, I think it's something that, especially heavyweights, because there is limited, because the risk of going underneath a heavyweight is relatively large, right, as compared to the other weight classes. So developing some of those high level attacks is hugely beneficial.
A couple other foot sweep shout outs. Alan Gelagayev, who I always shout out.
Yeah, great.
He would hit this. He and Helen Maroulis hit the similar foot sweep where they do the overtie slide by and then they come back with the foot sweep. It is like
it's beautiful,
so beautiful.
And then you know who else is Rando is because my buddy coach in my high school is Ivan Lopachansky. He wrestled.
From Purdue. I think he's Purdue's last All-American.
He was.
Oh really?
Wow.
Yeah, I believe he was.
He was at, I think, UNC Greensboro before those fools cut their program. He was
I think you're right.
Yes, he was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out JP Reese.
And shout out to JP Reese also.
That was his coach, who's my college teammate. JP Reese, you know, he was doing good. He was almost to the top. Was him or Kevin were on top of the Mizzou pins list, and then I blew past it as a sophomore, I think.
Oh, wow. And very disrespectful. Very disrespectful, Ben. Okay, so we're gonna talk some Iowa Penn State. JD had the idea that was good to talk about some of our favorite Iowa Penn State historical moments over the last 10, 11 years. I'm not gonna go back to like Brands beating Jeff Prescott or anything. Although
that was a good
match.
That was a beatdown.
That was a dandy.
That was a dismembering of sorts.
That's where one of the best lines ever, Competitor Supreme, when he goes, I feel like I got hit by a Mack truck, and I love that kind of match. That was a great Brands quote.
Yep, Competitor Supreme. Okay, so maybe we can do a little round table. I have a lot of favorites. I just remembered one this morning. Okay.
I'm going to say, you guys, I don't know. Listen, I don't know what it is about, but I don't have these memories like you do, guys. Like, you guys started going off on the text thread last night, and I'm like, holy crap. Like, once you say it, I remember it, but I can't bring them up quite like you guys do. So you guys might be a little more heavy in this segment than me.
Yeah. So we're in the middle of this conversation. We're talking about Iowa Penn State. I look over at JD's computer. He has just searched "birds aren't real" guy throws up on news. That's what he's Googling right now. I'm trying to talk about the biggest duel of the year.
What does that even mean?
He's Googling "birds aren't real." I don't want any explanation. I don't want to know.
Just saying, look into it. That's all I'm saying.
Is this an alien hour? Are we doing an alien hour because we haven't had
this
one
could be
in
an
6
alien
months,
hour.
Christian?
It could be.
We haven't had one in 6 months.
I can't believe. Daggone it, Bracky.
Are they CIA spying devices or something?
I allowed the Avril Lavigne.
Government's always watching.
Britney Spears, but this guy's saying birds aren't real. Okay.
I'm just saying, look into it.
If birds aren't real, then what was the stupid pet parakeet that my brother killed back in 1998? What was the deal with that? All right.
Government was spying on
All right.
you.
Wow, we had one in our house. Okay. Moving on. Wow. Ben can't remember the things till we bring them up. So let's start with Shane. Shane had a couple good ones. But what are some of your favorite Iowa Penn State moments?
I'll start with some of the less obvious ones. Now, when I was looking at the last 10 years, the one thing that stood out to me first was for both Penn State and Iowa wrestlers, they're inside Carver Hawkeye. Like if you look at like the top 8-9 moments, most of them are inside Carver. A couple that come to mind for me that, again, maybe not as obvious. Bo Nickel pinning Brooks in the spladle, 38 seconds, first period. Bo's got the ear. That one stood out.
You watch that one again.
We can
play it. Kale gets so mad at Bo for like kind of showboating a little bit. Watch Kale after the pin. He cannot stand.
I love it.
So nice single leg.
Pause that. The way Bo does that with keeping the pressure when Sammy Brooks had his ankle right there, the way Bo's able to keep the pressure on is just like crazy, because that's very hard to do.
Once again, if you're listening on Apple, switch to Spotify.
Yeah,
you can go watch video of this.
He's so super pinned.
Oh, he's so pinned.
All right, now watch. Watch Kale. Right there.
He didn't even showboat. All he did was jump up.
Look at him. He's pointing at.
Maybe he's saying, you pinned him.
He's not.
Why can't they have some fun, Kale?
No, he gives it to him. He gives it to him. He did not. It's funny.
They probably didn't want a team point taken.
Yeah, maybe that because of headgear.
That was Bo. Great job, Bo. Good
Great.
celebration.
Great job.
Nice touch.
I love the back and forth on Twitter that I've seen with some of these guys that have had the big moments. What do they call it? Take your kid to work day. You see that some back and forth at like Ramos and Nickel. I love it. I love it when the former athletes get involved in this stuff too. I just think it's good. It's fun.
Yeah. Okay, so I stopped you there, but I did want to talk about that moment. So keep going though, Shane. If you have more.
Another one, and I'm just looking at dual meets, but this one becomes a little bit broader scope because Sorensen and Rutherford wrestled a lot. And usually Rutherford was able to control matches. But the one that was really close, 9-8, if I remember right, it might have been
he almost got Carvered
that we just looked at. 9-8
it was
decided
overtime,
at
right?
Carver.
Yeah.
It was.
I think it might have been tiebreakers even.
I think it was tiebreaker 2 in that one.
Mm-hmm.
We have a
And
clip of that one.
Zane, listen, this is Rutherford, Sorensen, and Zane was chosen. Carver had spoken. They said, "It's not your day today, Zane," and Zane defied the gods. It was crazy. It was his time to get Carvered. Everything happened. He got taken down, I think, 3 times, which was sort of an unthinkable thing at that time. This guy he was a returning champ. I think he had either teched or pinned Sorensen the last time, or maybe it was a major in the NCAA finals the last time they met. And then here, he does. I mean, Sorensen wrestled him tougher than really anyone wrestled Zane again throughout his career. No one ever got close again.
I got a question for you guys. I watched last night this documentary that Big Ten Network's having on Friday night with the brand story. And just watching the highlights of those guys, it made me think. And it's so fun to watch. And I remember being in high school, the Brands were killing it at Iowa, part of those great teams in the early 90s. And I'm watching this video, I'm getting fired up because those guys were just hard wrestling, nonstop, 1 inch in the circle, bam, they're still getting after it. And I thought to myself, who reminds me the most of Tom and Terry Brands? Again, like the last 10 years, top of mind. And Zane Rutherford was my guy. And here's why I came up with Rutherford. Nickel, Nolf, Taylor, those guys were more like, little funky, just had some, just a little bit different style. Rutherford, like Tom and Terry, mauled you. And was so intense.
Metcalf, though?
Well,
yeah, I think.
I was talking to Andy Hamilton. He agreed with Rutherford, and then he mentioned Metcalf. Absolutely, those 2 guys. But I actually came up with Rutherford first, but Metcalf would fit the mold too.
For me, Zane is in a different sort of class because so much of it was top. And with Tom, if you watch Tom and Terry, it was just a neutral bludgeoning, hand fighting, in your face, so many takedowns, so much in your face. Whereas Zane, I mean, I think the better comparison is probably Metcalf if you're looking stylistically.
Yeah,
but certainly
agree.
he was a dominator in that way for sure.
Those guys, though, and that's what I like about some of these matches too, guys. When we go through this, there's another thing that really stood out. And I'm not going to steal all the thunder on all these memories.
Steal the thunder, baby.
The other thing that's interesting is when we go through some of these matches, points are scored. Points. 9-8, Rutherford and Sorensen. We'll talk about Kemmerer and Hall. I think that was 11-6. Ramos with the pins. Guys scored points, and that's what I want to see on Friday. Go out and let it go. I do not want to – guys, I'll give you my worst nightmare that came – this last Sunday, I'm doing Purdue, Wisconsin. We have technical difficulties on the Big Ten. There's no sound, none. And I have to broadcast it by myself, and the first match I do is at 174. And, of course, the wrestling gods, what do they hand me? A 1-1, a sudden victory. 7 minutes of wrestling, probably 6 minutes and 45 seconds of nothing. And I so bad want to be like, I want to tell people, go get something to eat. If you got to do something, do it now. Because I want to see guys wrestle.
I think you should say it, Shane.
Yeah, you should say it. I say it. Just say it.
Like,
call it what it is.
It's like, come on, guys. Come on. Like, let's
Shane,
go.
This doesn't happen in
this is your
freestyle.
first hot take. I love it.
Freestyle, we don't get seven minutes of nothing.
Stop running your angle. Stop running your
You're
angles.
right.
Let's
No,
just
yeah.
talk about what we're talking about.
It could be 6 minutes, but it won't be 7. And we darn sure aren't going to extend the pain. The pain will not be extended. It will be mercilessly end.
Here's what I was thinking. I was in Iowa City on Saturday doing a basketball game, Penn State Iowa basketball game, and it was exciting. Like it's fun. And then of course you got the football on Saturday and Sunday, which was amazing. And I love wrestling, but and I hate to say it because I feel like guilty saying it, but it's like some of these matches, whether it's freestyle, folk style, Greco, and that's why I've always said this: it's not the style, it's the wrestler. Ben Askren scored points no matter what. David Taylor, Kyle Snyder, Jason Null, Rutherford. These guys, Nick Lee, they score points regardless of style. Score points and make it exciting. I know you need to win, but there's a difference. I do not want to watch any more 1-1 matches of sudden victory. If I never see another one in my life, I'll be fine.
Well, I think we need
man.
Yeah, it's time the NCAA figured it out. They need a trap door. And then if things are bad, the mat just opens up and they just get sucked into the floor, and then the match is over. I think
it's almost like if you're doing a wrestling. I mean, I'm talking tongue in cheek here, but if it's 0-0 in the first period, match is done. It's over. Move on to the next weight. Like, let's get some guys out here that want to go. Nobody wants to watch it.
You're both losers.
We always talk about like growing the sport. You want to kill it? You want to kill it? Have 1-1 matches after 6-7 minutes.
And imagine if you knew after 3 minutes, as a fan, guys would be sucked into the basement with a trap door, Shane. I feel like you kind of glossed over my idea.
And I think I speak for all of us. A lot of matches, when they're 0-0 after the first 3 minutes, okay, each guy's going to get a quick escape, and we're going to spend the better part of the next 4 minutes in the same spot. And it's brutal. It's brutal.
I love it.
So I love the big memories that we're talking about right now are big points.
Yep. Okay. So one of my favorite moments I remember this morning was the Mike Evans, Matt Brown scramble at the end.
No, we want to talk about boring wrestlers.
Hold on, but
Mike Evans is all-timer.
This was their one moment. This is their one shining moment.
This is a crazy, crazy scramble.
Okay.
Where he looks pretty dead. You just watch. Maybe you'll even appreciate it, Mr. Ben.
Okay, I like this. Okay,
so he's draped. So Brown has him completely draped. Brown. He's in big trouble. Evans looking for the ankle.
This is good. He's holding the ankle. He's got to keep weight on the ankle. Keep weight on the ankle. Don't let him pull it out. Oh, it's hard. He's too high. He's gonna get the ankle pulled out. Oh man, yeah, he's not gonna win this. Can't get weight because once the ankle's outside the body, you can't get weight on it. Oh.
And what's missing here is the insane audio. And pause it right there.
You can see people going nuts.
So in the background, where you see, here, let it play a little bit. You can let it go, and I'll tell you.
On
the right. Pause it right now. To the right of Kale on your screen, there's young Thomas Gilman in the background.
That guy right there?
Corey Clark's there, and Sammy Brooks is there. They're just in street clothes. I guess they just had the... There he is to the right. Gilman's got the glasses on.
His future brother-in-law.
That's right. Yeah, wait, Mike Evans.
Who married who?
Thomas married Mike Evans' sister.
Got it. Mike Evans might have a lower takedown per minute percentage than almost anyone in Iowa history, though.
All right, dude.
Well, listen, we can talk about boring wrestling, but I can't call a spade a spade. Mike Evans couldn't get a takedown
in that time had some tough guys with Evans, Brown.
And it was awful wrestling. It was always 1-1.
Yeah, there was a lot of
all tight.
A lot of them had no offense. A lot of them had no offense. Listen, I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm just stating facts. They didn't score a lot of takedowns, Christian Piles.
I lie. I don't disagree. Robert Kokesh, he wrestled. He was
he was tough. Robert Kokesh is on my list of last 10 years in the Big Ten, pure toughness.
It's a very long list.
All right.
What's
Next memory.
So a couple other memories I can rifle through. Gulabon beating Clark at Bryce Jordan Center was like pretty crazy looking. They had this crazy light effect thing. I just remember that very vividly. Chenzo, there's Chenzo Marinelli, a couple, because
they had two of them in duels.
So Bull puts Chenzo on his back at I think it was at Bryce Jordan Center.
Bryce Jordan was down 5-3, 6-point move in the third.
And then in Carver, they basically locked up the entire match.
Yeah.
And Chenzo, when Bull stepped in, Chenzo he threw him straight to his back. Bull fights off his back. But then it's like, even though Alex never got like within a takedown quite, except for like the very end, there were so many times they were locked up and they were in like positions. It was definite, like there was a feet to back danger like multiple times after Marinelli was trailing. So that was crazy.
Those guys were awesome.
You had, and then right after that, it was like, okay, the duel's over because you had already had DeSanto giving up pinpoints to Roman, and then Bull loses to Chenzo. You're like, that's it. And then Mark Hall comes out and bombs Kemmerer so hard that he throws him through, and then Kemmerer ends up winning the duel. It was a crazy, crazy duel.
That was crazy.
So those are some of the most vivid memories. Alex Meyer being Mark Hall was very surprising to me. I remember being stunned by
surprising.
that. I that really was shocking to me.
I think in that duel, Gilman beat Suriano too, if I remember right.
He did 3-2. Yep.
But you bring up a real good point, Christian. I was thinking about this going through some notes. If you would have told us that Penn State gets 6 at 133 and Marinelli loses, the path to victory, I don't know where it is. I don't know how that path leads.
Yeah.
And they won it.
They did. They had to be Kemmerer, and he was really the hero for that duel. And also the two other ones that were, a couple years ago, these would have been the first ones off our heads, but maybe just the passage of time. But Ramos pinning Gulabon and Conaway in back-to-back years, basically in identical fashion.
He went back-to-back to back.
Yeah, but the first year, I don't think it was like Frank Martellotti maybe. But
it was.
Okay, so, but then Gulabon and Conaway were All-American, and he pinned them both. It was huge for the duel, and the place went so insane.
Well, yeah.
Double rainbow.
Last night I'm watching highlights. I got my son Logan. He's a senior in high school. He likes wrestling, but he doesn't wrestle, but he pays attention to it. And I'm getting fired up. I got the highlight video on, and we're watching Ramos. I'm like, what the heck? I go, we need to meet this guy in the flesh. I FaceTime Ramos last night. He takes the call. I introduced him to my son. I'm like, Tony, we're watching these videos. And then I'm like, rank these things. And he said that he'd rank the Conaway one, number 1, Jordan Oliver number 2, and then Gulabon number 3. And he made, I think, I don't want to get this wrong, but Tony told me like his brother had the joke that if Gulabon and Conway were on the bus together, they'd like look at each other and be like, hey, don't worry about it. Same thing happened to me. Because it was pretty much the same move. And what's so big here, guys, and I know we're going to dive into this duel, but when Ramos pinned Conaway, that was in February of 2013. The match before that, McDonough Megaludis, 2-1, first tiebreaker. McDonough escapes. The place goes crazy. Ramos comes out and then pins Conaway. They're up 9-0. They never look back. I'm big into throwing the first punch, and that's why if this match starts at 125, and I'm hoping it does, and it seems like they always do.
Yeah.
We can sit and analyze this match forever, and you don't quite know how it's going to go. But 125 pounds tomorrow night, or on Friday night, I think that match is going to be huge in deciding who wins this duel. Huge, because if Iowa doesn't win it, if they don't win 125, they could lose 33 and 41. Now they're down maybe 9-0. The crowd's out of it. But if Ayala can be the match that starts the fire, get that momentum going, I think that match is huge on Friday night, 125. What a position for Drake Ayala. True freshman, turned 19 years old in October. He'll be in front of, this might be the largest crowd ever inside Carver. I mean, I think they'll fit every body they can in that place. Back in Black will be playing. That place is going to be spectacular. What a cool moment for Ayala.
Yeah, so here's how I kind of think about the duel, and we can get into like a match-by-match thing. For Iowa, there's a couple things that have to happen. You've got to win 49, 57, 65. I don't think there's any scenario you win the duel without getting those three, and you're favored in those three. Max Murin just needs to be better than Bo Bartlett right now. Caleb Young has to beat Barraclaw or Negron. And hold on. Yeah. I mean, they don't have to,
it's
but
the most likely. Yeah.
They need those three. Okay. Sure. They need those three. I mean, if Marinelli's not beating Berge right now, if Caleb Young is not beating Terrell Barraclaw or Tony Negron, and if Max Murin can't beat Bo Bartlett, think about what that means about the other matches, right? They just have to have those three.
It's going to get ugly if that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm talking, look, Iowa's the underdogs here. They've got to get those three. And then now you need some combination of 2 or 3 from 25, which I think is winnable. 33, you've literally won that match. 41, you've literally won that match. 74, you've won that match. 84, I don't think so. I don't think that's in the conversation.
Not yet.
97, a chance, small one, or heavyweight. You've won that match.
Really? I think the 97, I want to say more than small. I want to say like 65-35, so somewhere in there. Like I think Warner has a reasonable chance to sneak one out.
I would probably not really disagree strongly. I'd probably say 70-30 for that.
97 to me, guys.
We're close.
If you guys are doing like confidence, like 1 point for least confident, 10 points for most confidence, 197 might be, at least for me, 197 is a low number. Like that match, that
really?
One can go. Yeah, Warner's.
What do you low number? Low number as opposed to what? Like you're talking percentage chance Warner wins, or what do you mean?
He has low confidence in who's going to win.
Like the least confident I am in any match. Like 197 to me is about as much of a coin toss as they get.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't say. Yeah, I feel like Beard has an advantage, but
it's Dean.
It's Dean's but Dean didn't look great last weekend. That's the thing, right? He went to overtime with Brucky, who you could definitely see Warner beating Brucky for sure. Mm-hmm. And he lost to Caffey, and I'm sure I don't know. I have to look it up. I'm sure Warner's beaten Caffey before.
Michael Beard beat Cam Caffey at Scuffle.
Yeah.
But I would assume it's Dean.
Yeah, it's gonna be Dean.
Yeah, he's the guy.
I just what is the path? So let's think about 197. How do you, let's say Warner wins, what do you think the match looks like? Does he ride Max? Does he get a go behind?
He gets to go. It's a 1-1, and he gets to go behind in the third. Something to that effect. Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be close.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe that's reasonable.
He's not going to take any risks. He's not going to take too many risks. Warner, he never does. He's generally really good off bottom. He almost never ever gets ridden. He's generally pretty tough on top, so the riding time's probably going to go too far in either direction. So yeah, it's 1-1. It's a one takedown match. It's kind of how I see it. I mean,
I'd agree.
The other chance would be that somehow Dean gets a takedown early and then rides him for a while. Like I could see that potentially happening. And Warner hasn't looked great in third period, so him coming back is probably not all that likely. Yeah. But I think it's probably most likely scenario 1-1, no ride time. Dean gets a takedown in the third, but that could go the other direction.
Yeah. So for Iowa, they've got the 3 musts, the 3 where they're the biggest favorites, and then of those other 6 matches, they need 2 to 3 of those. Probably going to need 3 because I don't see bonus being them getting much bonus in this duel. So the path is winnable, but
so let me ask you this question, Christian: if you had to pick one match, it can go either way in this duel, where bonus is the most likely, which match are you taking?
Well, I think you probably have to say Aaron Brooks over Abe, even though I would be sort of surprised if he got the major there. Yeah. I kind of would. I kind of feel like it's they've wrestled, and I don't think it was a major. They were
7-4
2 years ago. Abe's looking pretty solid.
I would not be shocked.
You wouldn't be shocked if he majored him?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or if he didn't major him.
So do you think that's the most likely?
I wouldn't be shocked either way.
Okay. Yeah.
So you guys think obviously I think Aaron's the most likely to win. But is he the most likely to get bonus? Because
I think so.
Nick Lee Ironman, like Nick Lee is a great bonuser, and maybe if Ironman makes one mistake and goes on his back, we're talking then he's got to pile up a few more points. Or is it RBY DeSanto? Because we've seen that bonus happen before. I'm thinking about where could this happen? Because the likelihood that we're going to go 10 matches, 0 bonus, that's a really small number. If you're betting on that, that's really unlikely. So where's it going to happen?
I still think it's more likely that Brooks gets a major. Caleb Young could maybe sneak out a major against Negron or Bear Claw.
Really?
I mean,
Possibly.
Bear Claw's wrestling tough, bro.
I know. Well,
Guys, I
I'm
don't
not
think we're
saying
going to
it's
see a
like,
major. I would
None?
say, I mean,
Zero bonus?
it'll happen somewhere.
so there's going to be a bonus point.
Yeah.
Caleb
Yeah,
Young's got 36% bonus over his career. That's not a.
Yeah, well, we're picking places where it could happen. I don't think it will, but
Honestly, Ben, you guys say whatever you want, and maybe this is crazy, but my mind went to 41.
That's what I went to.
I think the way. Listen, look how Jaden's wrestled this year so far. I know that he beat him. He beat Nick soundly at Big Tens, and it was an overtime loss in the NCAA finals. But this man is having minor miracles, beating Ryan Jack, who lost to last week. Checks notes. I have no idea who that was. He lost to someone. I can't remember his name. So that's kind of where Ironman is. So Ironman's going to have to be a different person than he's been this year to beat Nick Lee.
to beat him, but he's not going to have to be a different guy to not give out a bonus.
I agree. But
that's one of those that could turn. That one could turn fast.
yes.
One bad scramble or, something to that effect.
And also, but by the same token, Ironman.
Nick Lee leaves his
Ironman
head
could
a little
win.
too close to his knee.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too.
Or Lee leaves his head a little too close to his knee.
That's why I'm saying, like, Jaden is a crazy wrestler who can pin guys. Like, could he lock up one exchange and do it? I think maybe that's unlikely. Maybe I'm talking myself out of bonus in this match, but my head went there. And there's skill disparity matches, and then there's just ones where, like, something crazy is sort of likely to happen. And I think that's where I'm at with.
Like Murin Bartlett, Murin is significantly better, but the chances he get bonus, they're close to zero. We're talking like 4%.
Ben,
It's a small
You
number.
know the total number of points in that
He is
match is
not-
going to be under 7.
He is not
under
There's
8.
4% chance.
Ben, he is not
4%.
significantly better than Bo Bartlett. I believe that
No,
would
he
be.
is. He is. It's just not,
I don't think it's significant.
if they wrestled a lot of times, I'm telling you, if they wrestled a lot of times, they're all going to be like 1 or 2 points. But Max Murin's going to win a big number of them.
All right, well, we'll see. We'll see.
Listen,
You know
I
what I
know
love
you.
about
I
this-
know you're. No, Christian is the driver of the Bo Bartlett fan bus, and from a points perspective, they are all going to be competitive. I just don't think Bo's going to win a lot of them.
Okay,
I think it's going to be a small number.
I'll say this. Between now and NCAAs, Bo Bartlett will either beat Max. Let's make a bet. Bo Bartlett will either beat Max Murin head up or outplace him at Big Tens or NCAAs. One of those will happen.
This year.
I'm saying this year.
Yeah, I'll take that bet.
Okay.
Now, obviously, injuries. If there's an injury, it's a wash somewhere.
Oh, well, I don't know what that actually means.
If one
There's
of them
an
were to get
injury
injured early round
default
of
or
Big
medical
Tens,
forfeit. Okay.
Yeah, say if
That's
Murin
a
gets to
wash.
semis to the Big Tens and injury defaults all the way to 6th, and then Bo ends up taking 5th.
And if Max beats Bo and Bo wasn't actually trying, that's a wash too. That wouldn't count for this debate.
Nick Stemmick clause.
Nick Stemmick clause.
Are you guys betting a Huey Lewis greatest hit CD on this
Yeah.
one or what?
Yeah. Hey, settle the famous New Jersey debate that I wasn't aware of. Billy Joel or Bruce Springsteen, Shane?
Well, it's New York versus New
this-
Jersey.
Oh, New York versus New Jersey.
I've seen both in concerts. I appreciate Bruce Springsteen's effort. He'll give you 3 hours sweat through about 4 or 5 shirts. But to me, it's not even close. Billy Joel, major decision. Billy Joel, major decision. Yeah.
Man, that
I'm
would
a
be
big
Carver
piano
would
guy.
be rocking.
I'm a big piano guy. I'll take Billy Joel and
Okay.
his piano over Springsteen and his guitar. Just
Okay.
preference.
There it is. All right. I can kind of see it. I can kind of see it, Shane. All right, let's get into it. 25, Ayala Hildebrandt. This one is really tough to handicap. Are we doing those now? No, let's just do the dual preview. We can do the pick'ems tomorrow for the. So, I think Hildebrandt is an interesting kind of matchup for Drake because if you see the guys that have beaten Drake this year, Malik and Pat, I don't know if Drew does those things. I don't know if he's the quick strike, get to the leg and finish type of guy. Like Malik definitely is. Malik is fast to the leg and gets in good position. And even Pat, I think, is a little underrated with his ability to like dart in and get in and then just kind of lift him off his feet. Is Drew going to be able to do that? Is Drew going to be able to get in deep enough? Is he going to give himself enough opportunities to get in deep enough? I think Ayala matches up better here. This may sound weird, than even McKee or Heinzelman. What do you guys think?
Yeah, so I don't think Hildebrandt would win in the same manner, but he's tough, as we saw against Soriano, and I think it could be slow the pace down type match, kind of like he did against Soriano, and then score one takedown and or ride, because he's historically been pretty tough on top, and Ayala he's not as bad on bottom as some people make him out to be, but he hasn't been great off bottom at all times.
Is that the case?
Didn't he get ridden by he got ridden for a while by Pat, yes.
I'm trying to think.
He's got out a couple times, but he has got ridden for a while also.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that maybe in the duel in Carver, that was when he got ridden.
And
you guys are talking about Ayala?
Yes.
I think was it at the Southern Scuffle where he gave up a third period takedown and a ride out?
Yeah.
I believe
maybe so.
Well, he got ridden by Alan Hart.
Certain.
He got ridden super hard by Noah Certain early in the match too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he didn't escape
that's
the
the one
first
that
or
he came
second
back and
period.
won it.
He came
Yeah,
back.
that was a crazy one.
Noah Certain fell apart. Yeah. He did get ridden. I don't even. Yeah, it breaks my heart. But he got ridden hard in the first and second period. So while he's not as bad as some people make him out to be on bottom, he has got ridden for significant portions of time. So, I think that's Hildebrandt's path to victory, a takedown and a ride. And then just, he's obviously better defensively than, say, a Noah Certain or something like that.
Who do you think wins this match, Ben?
I'm going to say Ayala.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I think Drake's. Well,
I ride for Drake.
You ride for Drake. You ride for Drake. I think Drake. I do think Drake wins. I think they do need it. It's not a must win, but
You just said they need it. They need it, but it's not a must win.
I mean, it's gonna certainly. They don't have listen. They don't have to have this match to win the duel, but it
would help.
It gets a lot tougher, and I think I don't know where I fall on the whole momentum thing, because all it takes is one thing to turn. Listen, the momentum thing. It kind of misses me, because you never lost more momentum than when Alex Marinelli loses to Vincenzo Joseph at Carver Hawkeye Arena, and Kemmerer just comes out and reversed the momentum and just won the match. So I don't know.
Shane, Ben, would you rather be the Hawkeye and Carver at home, or the bad guy that gets to silence Carver?
Bad guy.
Yeah.
Listen,
Jim Gibbons,
easy for Ben to say.
He told me something once that I was like, wow. He said that when you wrestle, a lot of times, if you're in that first or in that second half of matches, that he would suggest not bringing those guys out, because the crowd and that environments will weigh you down, and then by the time you compete, it sucks some energy out of you. Yeah. That crowd is something, and that's where I'm going to disagree on the momentum, especially in this duel. If Iowa loses those first three and they're down 9-0, I think it's going to be tough to come back. I think it does matter. You're right, it can change, but if Ayala can light that spark, I think that is I cannot tell you, if you can't already tell, how big I think that first match is at 125. I think it's huge.
And I think for Iowa, it's not even about can he win this match. I think it's further cementing, okay, where does Drake actually fit? Because I think we're getting a better idea of where. But, okay, he lost to Heinzelman. Those are the matches you're going to need to win. That's a round of 12 kind of match that he's going to have to win to be an All-American. Can he beat a Drew Hildebrandt, who was fourth last year, who had a really competitive match with Nick Soriano? They're going to need it. 33, man, I think we've seen it.
I picked IL, but I think it is close to a coin flip, just so we're clear on that.
That might be
it is
coin flip match.
Okay.
I'll call it a flip. Now, this is probably not a coin flip.
I don't think it's a coin flip.
Austin DeSanto versus Roman Bravo Young. Austin won the first two meetings, Roman's true freshman year, and hasn't beaten him since. They had a really close one at Big Tens the next year.
What is there another NCAA rivalry that we've seen the momentum switch so much to the other side. Like DeSanto won the first two meetings, and now very few people outside of Iowa, I think, would pick DeSanto.
I'm not sure there's a comparable.
And most people are confident in that pick with RBY.
Super confident.
Because, and here's why people are so confident. It's because you know exactly where the match is going to go. You know Austin's going to shoot. You know the shot that Austin's probably
RBY is going to put his hand behind his back.
Right? You just kind of know the tactics that Roman's going to use, and you know the tactics Austin's going to use. And Austin's going to get to single, and he's going to probably try to drape or do the same finishes, and Roman's going to try to counter. And it's until Austin shows he can finish his attack on Roman, it's hard to see how he will win the match. He's done it before, but since the adjustments have been made, Austin has not been able to figure that out.
Yeah.
I think that's what gives people confidence.
The thing with RBY, too, and man, did he impress me against Ragusan in Michigan, and we saw it with him against Dayton Fix. Roman Bravo Young, he is so good on his feet. I mean, he's so slick, the footwork. He's incredible on his feet, and he's also incredible on top. Like, he has become, and I don't remember, guys, if this was ever a debate with you guys. I thought it was. I don't want to start up a whole nother topic. But anybody that says people don't develop at Penn State, that's an argument that I'd love to get involved in. Roman Bravo Young has gotten so much better.
And you can go back and listen to that because I already outlined that perfectly. Everyone's in agreement.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying if it's you guys, maybe if it's other people.
No, it was me. It was me. And that idiot on Twitter misquoted me, and you took him for what he said, and you shouldn't do that on Twitter because there's a lot of idiots on Twitter.
Yes. Mostly.
So
because it's named after a bird.
My point is Roman Bravo Young has gotten so much better since he's got there. He was good when he got there. He's great.
Yeah, Roman. I mean, look at his top work. He was just pretty much a takedown guy, and now he's tilted. He tilted Ragusan. He's getting turns on top. Yeah,
but he doesn't make it. He doesn't make it into the all-timer category.
No, not at this point.
Not at this point.
He has two more years. But it's unlikely he's going to get to that top 5 strata.
Yes.
For Penn State. But yeah, he has gotten a lot better on top, and Austin is good underneath. You know, he had the one Della Vecchio crazy match in the round of 12, but by and large, he's solid and can get away. So I don't think he'll turn Austin. But it's hard for me to see how Austin gets the win here. It seems like a Roman decision.
When we're talking about development, I kind of brought this point up earlier, is where you're going to get the most return on your investment in development is technique. What new techniques does Austin DeSanto do that he didn't do 2 years ago? You know what I'm saying? Like, what else has he brought to the table?
I'm not entirely sure.
I think the answer is nothing, right? So it's like, well, RBY, once you figure them out, right? When two guys are going back and forth, if one guy figures the other guy out, the only way the guy on the losing side of this battle is then solving the issue is if he solves the technical riddle and brings something new to the table. And if he doesn't bring anything new to the table, then it's not going to get figured out.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see any adjustments here, but yeah, I've got Roman by a decision here. I don't think there's bonus, but I think he wins. One or two takedowns.
And actually, I feel pretty confident in this match. I would put it up on the higher end of the spectrum of matches I'm confident in this duel.
Tactically, if you're Austin, I wonder if it makes sense to attempt to ham fight hard early and get a late takedown, get away on bottom. Mitigate the early takedowns, take a little bit out of Roman, and then try to make it one takedown, one finish in the third period. I think that's how you do it.
Yeah.
I think if you come at him like a banshee, a lot of attacks, Roman's not a guy that gasses, but there's just, I mean, the idea would be that Austin may have a little more late, right?
Hold on, even on high level guys, I'm sorry, even on not hell of a guys, Christian, how does Austin score without starting from the tricep?
Well, he does get go behinds. He's good,
but it's usually a snap off the tricep.
Sometimes he, it's more sprawl go behind.
Sometimes they dive in because they don't want to deal with his pressure. I mean, when you think about RBY, is he just going to dive in and let someone go behind him? And the answer to that's no, he's not. And then we saw him be disciplined enough to keep it would be his right arm back so that DeSanto can't get left hand on the tricep. And this is what I'm talking about developmentally, is like even against guys who aren't that good, it's hard for DeSanto to score without getting his left hand on the tricep.
Their Big Ten semi in 2020, Roman was using that tactic with the hiding the elbow and everything.
Yep.
And Austin was still getting in. He's had a lot of opportunities. He just couldn't quite figure out the finish. He was right there. If you go back and watch that match, he was right there to win that one. And that was with...
Was that about 4-2? Was that like a 4-2 match?
I don't know if Roman scored 4 points, but I can't remember. And I was sitting right there when it happened. But... it was really close, and Roman. I felt like Austin moved him around. Roman was not firing off attacks. Austin was getting in and couldn't finish. And it got worse the more times they met. But that match was one where that tactic was implemented, and Austin was still able to get in and have opportunities. Now he didn't score, but he had opportunities. All I'm saying. Anyone taking Austin here?
No.
Place would go nuts. Think about it.
They would go nuts.
41, Nick Lee, Jaden Ironman, NCAA Finals rematch. It's tough to see, just watching their seasons, that Nick Lee wouldn't get his hand raised here.
Correct. And if you want to pick Ironman, there's obviously the danger factor that he brings to the table. But given what you've seen this year, if you pick Ironman, you're just getting lucky because there's no justification based on his wrestling why he should win this match.
Yeah.
You're picking him based on the fact that this is in Carver and something unusual will happen. And Ironman loves Carver and Hawkeye fans.
He do.
There's a chance, though.
There's definitely a chance. Okay.
Wait, Shane makes some damn picks.
He can't.
He's doing
commentating? This match is Nick Lee.
No, pick.
I'm so impressed just with the way he operates. Nick Lee is, I will say, I love all the, I like all these guys. They're all great guys. I love watching them compete. Nick Lee fits my personality. Nick Lee he's so disciplined. He wins matches and he wins with grace. He loses with grace. Like Nick Lee, if I have a young kid and I want to show them how I want them to wrestle, it's Nick Lee. Total package. And let me go. I'm going to say this about Nick Lee.
Pick. You got to pick.
Think about. I'm not picking against Nick Lee.
So you're picking Nick Lee then.
If you beat Nick Lee, you have to be so sound in what you do. And you better be able to do it for 7 minutes. And Ben, in all fairness to Jaden Ironman, what you said is fair. The way these seasons have progressed, it would be hard in your mind to make a case for Ironman on this season. But as we know, Ironman's a home run hitter. You get into where he wants to be, but Nick Lee's just so disciplined. The way that Nick Lee's wrestling IQ is so good. I mean, even the shots he takes, shallow shots, he makes adjustments. I don't see Nick Lee getting in those positions. He's too smart. I don't see it. He's too smart.
Ready. He'll definitely be ready.
Guys, one more quick thing about Nick Lee I want to throw in there real quick. I remember watching him as a true freshman. I've seen hundreds of NCAA matches, Matt side. This is one that I will never forget. His true freshman year, I think it was the 8 seed. He gets pinned by, I think it was Deal of Maryland.
Yes.
He comes back on the backside and wins, I think, 6 matches and then beats Kevin Jack of NC State in sudden victory, I believe, like 9-7 to take 5th place.
Yeah.
If you look at Nick Lee's career, whether it's no matter what it is, he always gets the next best thing. If he makes a final, if he doesn't win it, he obviously takes 2nd. But if he does not make a final, he takes 3rd. I mean, Olympic trials, 3rd. Big Tens, he's been 3rd a couple times. NCAAs, 5th, 2020 first team, and then he wins it. This guy is the king. Nathan Tomasello was like it too. They lose, and when you're devastated, your dreams are shattered of winning a national title or Big Ten title, whatever it is. I think it takes such amazing guts and courage and pride to fight for your team and get the next. Everybody talks about it. Got to get the next best thing. I'll tell you this. Nick Lee's not injury defaulting out of anything. He'll come back and get the next best thing. And I just admire the hell. I admire the hell out of Nick Lee and the way that he goes about his business. Chop wood, carry water. Nick Lee. He's so. I think Nick Lee, last 10 years in college wrestling, guys, most underappreciated wrestler in the last 10 years is Nick Lee. There you have it.
Over Max Murin?
I love Max Murin. I love Murin's toughness.
He's next.
But
Nobody
Nick
loves
Lee-
Max
guys,
Murin.
Guys, keep this in mind. Jaden Ironman majored. Ironman majored Nick Lee at the NCAAs a few years back. Majored him.
Yeah. No more.
All right.
149.
So Shane picks Nick Lee. Shane also picked RBY, and I think he picked Drew Hildebrand at 25.
Wow.
But we know he's
That is
picking
not
Murin
true.
at 49. You're picking Murin at 49. We know it. And I'm
He has
picking
to.
Murin too, Christian. Who you picking, Bo Bartlett? Do it. I know you want to. I know it.
I don't need. Listen, Bo doesn't need my support to do what he's about to do. I am picking Murin in this match. I think he gets it here. I think it's very close. I think it's one takedown.
Okay.
I agree.
I got Murin also.
Very close match. And
keep
This
in mind
has
with Murin, he's
3-1
coming off a
written all
loss.
over it. 3-2 written all over it.
what'd you say, Shane?
Murin's coming off a loss.
Coming off a
So-
loss. Yep.
And I think for Max Murin, he's just so tough. I mean, it's not just based on that, but he'll be ready to go.
For sure. He'll be encouraged after his performance against Sammy. 157. I don't know if it'll be Bearclaw or Negron. I'm assuming it's going to be Bearclaw if they're going with him.
Caleb Young, decision.
6'2".
Yeah,
think.
not all that exciting.
Yeah. It's like you could kind of get in the ice cream line now. Like you kind of see, be on the Jumbotron, get some of that soft serve. Are you get
You
soft
got to
serve?
go up
Ben?
there before the break.
You gotta go there before the
No, I like some real ice cream.
break. Me
Not some of
too.
that
I
stuff.
don't like
Yeah,
soft serve.
Not really.
You can fight me. I just don't think
mean-
it's that good.
It's okay.
It's still ice cream, so you can't complain that much. But
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's kind of like pizza. You know, it's like
Yeah.
pizza's still pizza, but ice cream, I like it. I don't like the
There
soft
must be something to it though, because I've never. Maybe this is finally the time I have it. I've never had it at Carver Hawkeye, but they love it there. I mean, that's
do.
that is a big deal there. It's a big deal.
It's because it's like their thing, you know. It's part of it. It's the ambiance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You go to Carver,
they got
you get
the soft serve market. You know, you talk about greatest foods at Big Ten arenas. Carver ice cream is going to might be at the top.
Listen.
Next pick. We're not talking about the greatest foods at Big Ten arenas. We're freaking picking matches here. Shane stalling
The
over there, trying not to
Spartan
make
corn
picks.
dog is the greatest concession food in the Big Ten.
Corn dogs, Jackie.
Anyway, 165. Bergie versus Bull.
Any
Bergie
path
versus
to victory
Ball.
here for Bergie?
I mean, there's a path. It's a don't get
we just
taken
go
down
Bull.
early, get a reattack. I feel like I don't think it's quick strike. Get the early thing. I think you got to snake it late if you're Bergie and you're gonna get the winner. Because if Bull's down early, I think he'll run it just like it'll flip a switch and he'll just run it down and get the win. But if it's something where
I'm gonna go ahead and say this, Christian. There's nothing in Brady Bergie's history that would say to us he's gonna beat Alex Marinelli.
You're wrong. You're wrong on this, Ben.
What?
Boom.
What?
Boom roasted.
if I'm presenting the other side from a history standpoint, I believe he's beaten Pat Lugo and Caleb Young. I thought I saw something on social media that he's beaten those two guys.
Neither one of those are as good as regular season Alex Marinelli, or even very close.
I mean, Pat Lugo was a 1 seed at the NCAA wrestling tournament.
1 year. I mean he had one good season.
1 year. I mean, that's pretty good.
I'm just painting the picture that there's been a history that he's had success against Iowa. So, hey, you got to create storylines. You got to create
Iowa
a story.
killer.
Yeah.
Let me see that number 1 season by Pat Lugo.
And Marinelli's only been beaten one time at Carver, and that was by Joseph in 2020. So he's as good as they get at Carver. Yeah. And he's coming off a loss too. He's an ornery bull. That bull is I wouldn't want to ride that bull right now. I wouldn't want to.
I love the word ornery. Great word.
Marinelli is ornery right now. Guarantee it.
Yeah.
He is not. It's probably not been the funnest of weeks for his wife, right? I mean, it's like he's ornery, no doubt.
Oh my gosh,
Grumpy
they called
bull.
him a wrestling power couple last week on the broadcast, and your man, I don't know if it's Tim Johnson or Jim Gibbons. I just shake my head when he says some crazy shit.
I was with Jim. It would have been Ray and Tim, but Marinelli's ornery.
Man.
Benifer. It's kind of like a Benifer situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's ornery bull. I'm not sure Bergie's be able to handle the orneriness.
No, I don't think
on Friday night. Couple takedowns, no fanfare. But
hey, I'm gonna hold you guys all to it because Christian, you backed up Shane. You guys are putting Pat Lugo and Caleb Young on the same level as Alex Marinelli.
I'm not putting Caleb Young on the same level.
Ben, you said there's nothing with the history, and I told you you're wrong. He's had success against some Iowa guys. That's all I said, and that's what I said is factual.
All right.
I didn't say anything about levels.
So you're picking Brady Berge. I got it. You're picking Brady Berge.
He's got Berge.
I got Shay's lineup. He's got Hildebrandt, RBY, Nick Lee,
That's not true.
Max Murin, Caleb Young, Brady Berge. That's his pick so far.
And I will tell you this. Of all the picks you made, you got most of them, but you don't got all of them.
Ooh. Okay. So that's 65. We're going bull here. I think Shane's point is good.
Okay.
And appropriate. I think it's not because you're making the point. Ben, you're making the point about Alex. He's making it about Brady.
I understand.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. As long as there's understanding.
Well, I was really making the point about Brady Berge also, and I'll give you that Pat Lugo was the 1 seed that 1 year, which 49 was, I don't know, maybe I'm being a dick right now, but 49 was not that good that year. And I hold Alex Marinelli in a high regard, and maybe I'm wrong. I thought of Patrick Lugo and Alex Marinelli kind of on the same tier. I thought of Lugo as a little lower and Marinelli more up here.
And listen, I do think that is the case, but it's a little closer than I think you were giving it credit for. I would put Marinelli in a higher strata, but it's not by much. 174. No one is wrestling better on Iowa, in my opinion, than Michael Kemmerer. I don't care how many braces he's wearing. I don't care if he's got double knee pads and one's green. I love all of it. All the accessories. He has the best accessories in NCAA wrestling, I would say.
There we go. I love it.
So how does he do against Carter Starachi, who looked a little vulnerable against Logan Massa, who's super duper good? Kemmerer, Starachi.
This is going to be a great match.
Upset special. I'm picking Michael Kemmerer, my upset special in Carver Hawkeye.
Is that really an upset?
Is it? Yeah. I've got to like, man, you're giving yourself a little more.
It's an upset.
Guys,
you're giving yourself too much credit there.
I believe
you take
this.
it too then. Do it.
I think most people.
Kemmerer too.
I think most people advantage Kemmerer. That's what I think most people would say. Advantage Kemmerer.
Here's my thoughts on this match. And I think Starachi would probably be if we put up a poll right now, Starachi would be considered the more people would vote for Carter. But here's what I'll say.
I'm not sure.
Go vote.
Let's put
I'll put a poll on Spotify. Go vote.
Put up a
once
poll.
This gets uploaded.
And that is ironclad. Here's what I'll say about this. Throughout the year, when I was thinking about this duel, because I've been thinking about this duel all year long, when I didn't see Kemmerer, and we didn't see Kemmerer, I was like, Carter's obviously going to win this match. And then Kemmerer comes back. Okay, what do we see? He looks great. He looks really, really good. So now I'm back to March of 2021 where I think this is a really close competitive match. Carver Hawkeye, Michael Kemmerer, Carter looking a little tie-tie last week. That said something to me. Carter can win. Carter maybe should be a slight favorite. I'm not calling this an upset, but I am picking Michael Kemmerer. I'm picking Michael Kemmerer, and it's not an upset.
Been here for years.
There you go.
Well, I've got Kemmerer. Cool J 1991, Ben, right?
Yep. Shane's picking. I've got Shane's pick. Shane's picking Kemmerer too.
This is going to be this is one of the matches that could be low scoring and super exciting. These guys could be low. I don't think it's going to be a ton of points being scored, but I think this is a match that's just going to be exciting because this couple of horses. I can't wait. This.
Shane, what if it's 0-0 at the end of the first?
Yeah, then they get sucked through the Carver trapdoor.
And you don't get to watch the rest.
You
don't get to watch the rest, Shane. You have to turn your TV off. Your rules.
Shane's going to be there. Shane's going to be on the
be there for this one.
In the flesh.
You got to close your eye.
Yeah, you have to close it. I will come down.
You have to leave the arena.
We're going to be we're going to have dueling broadcasts. You're looking at 3 of the broadcasters of this duel. You know, you're on the TV, big fancy Shane, but we're the blue collar broadcasters, Ben and I. We're the radio owners. Those are just the audio. That's
guys, keep this in mind. We just at the start of the show we talked about great memories. And when you think about when I think about Penn State, Iowa, the Mount Rushmore to say of the guys I think about, number 1 is Tony Ramos. If Michael Kemmerer wins, he's onto the Mount Rushmore in this rivalry. And what's interesting about Kemmerer is he's been on both sides. Nolf's beat him. Hall's beat him. I mean, they switched back and forth. Him and Starachi back and forth. Is there anybody that's been involved in more storylines on the positive and negative than Michael Kemmerer in Penn State?
Yeah, he's wrestled such a variety of hammers. It is kind of interesting.
Guys, Ben, you'll appreciate this. Little Michael Kemmerer note I found in my research. Once upon a time, he wrestled Jake Soufflone at the Midlands at 149.
Oh, yeah.
Wrap your head around that.
Wow. Jeez Louise.
I remember that. I remember him at 49.
I don't remember him at 49, actually.
His true freshman year. He was 49 basically all year.
Wow.
Shane, I think you got to win to be on Mount Rushmore's.
He's won. He beat Mark
Hall. But if he wins this one in this duel, because I do think this is a one. I don't think anybody's winning this duel by 5-6 points. I think it's going to be tight, 2-3 points. That's my guess.
So, how many guys have wrestled?
Can win this one, I think he, maybe saying he gets on the Mount Rushmore. I might have over exaggerated that a little bit, but he'll become. When you think about this duel, the last 10 years, you think of Ramos first. If Kemmerer wins this and they win this duel by a couple points, like they did in 2020 when he beat Hall, he'll be one of the guys you think about quick. He won't be Ramos probably, but he'll be right there.
Got it. He's wrestled 3 Penn State national champions in his career. Nolf, Starachi, and Mark Hall. Okay. We got to go, guys. We got to keep moving. 84, Aaron Brooks, Abe Assad.
Brooks, decision.
Yeah.
Brooks major.
It's a decision.
Major.
Woo! Oh, my gosh.
8 points.
Ground control to Major Tom. I don't know. I have a little more respect for Aaron. The thing is, if Aaron wants to get it, he needs to go get it, right? Abe is not going to shoot. No one's going to do the reattacks for Aaron Brooks, okay? People are going to be smarter here, especially in a dual meet where it's tight. Abe is not a guy who is a volume attacker as is. And so now you've got the most prolific reattacker there is in maybe college wrestling.
No, Gable's most prolific.
Oh, yeah. Gable doesn't count for any of this. He's just in a different – he's not in college. We kick him out.
He's so good at reattacks.
He's so good. He is so good. We could just do a Gable Stevenson show, and I'd be happy with it. But other than that, his roommate during the Olympic Games, Aaron Brooks, is also really good at reattacks, and I don't think Abe's going to reattack himself out of this match. And Aaron, I don't know if he's going to be ramping up his offense to the degree that he gets up 8 points, and I don't think he gets a turn. So I think it's not close, but I think it's a decision. And
Shane goes decision, Aaron Brooks.
Well, here's what I'm going to say about Aaron Brooks, okay? This is one of those duels. No, I don't want to butcher this. With, what's the line? Like when much is given, much is expected. Is that what the line is?
Yes.
Abe Assad's very good. But if you're Aaron Brooks in this duel, you better get a major, right? I mean,
you better.
If you're Aaron Brooks, and you guys talk about it before, but Aaron Brooks has so much talent, and it won't be easy. But he's got to take that response. And I think Aaron Brooks takes that responsibility. And this is why he's got to be if you want to be the man in these kind of duels, this is what the men do, right? I mean, just throwing that out there with Aaron Brooks. You know what I kind of take it back to? Nick Suriano last week. If you're going to be the man and you're going, and Hildebrandt's fantastic, but you got to do better than that. You got to do better than that.
With great power comes great responsibility. R.I.P. Uncle Ben.
Is that Spider-Man?
Spider-Man. R.I.P.
Okay. I knew it was Spider-Man.
Uncle Ben.
Shout out. Spider Cuz. Okay. 197, Max Dean, Jacob Warner, the ladies' man versus the Dean of Mean, his brother. We've already talked about this one a little bit. You got Max.
Decision.
I've got Max.
But if I was going to pull an upset, this is the place to do it in my picks. This would give them the dual win.
This would be the upset special for our Uncle Ben.
Yes,
Ben
sir.
Askren. Who you got, Jermichael?
Max.
We're all going Max here.
These final two matches, I'm thinking this duel is going to be razor thin with 2 matches to go.
I think the duel's
just another monster.
It's going to be in the balance with these two to go. I agree with that as well. And then heavyweight, man, what do you? How is Greg Kirkfleet not the favorite
the other way? I know it's went the other way, but I got to pick Greg. He just beat Mason Paris. Got to pick him.
Guys, I'm going to give you the stat of the show right now.
Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
And like I said, a lot's changed with Greg Kirkfleet. But last year, Greg Kirkfleet lost to Mason Paris 11-3, and he lost to Tony Cassiope 9-0.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's turned it around, and
that
Mason.
that was not that long ago.
No. He's turned around. So
10 months ago.
The interesting thing here is the stylistic difference in that Tony Cassiope is not going to he's not going to be stabbing at the leg like Mason Paris. They're going to have a plan for it, talking about Kirkfleet, but so is Cassiope, and I think he's probably going to try to hand fight him, get a go behind, get one single leg and finish. See if Tony can ride. Can he ride Kirkfleet still? Kirkfleet got away from Mason, and Mason's as good on top as probably anyone at the weight, right? He's probably the best top wrestler at 285. So you would think he could get away, but Carver has a way. Carver gets a say, and Cassiope gets a say.
Are you calling Cassiope?
Yeah, I think Big Tone. I'm going Big Tone.
Wow.
For this one.
What do you have for the score now? I got a 15-15.
I don't know. I haven't been keeping score.
JD, have you been keeping score?
No.
Oh, hell. I got a 15-15. That's my score. I'm picking Penn State by tie-breaking criteria.
Tiebreaker 7.
Tiebreaker. It's going to be tiebreaker down a little bit. Probably
don't lose that team point, guys.
Good point. This is a duel meet. Make a mental note who scores the first takedown of the duel.
Mm-hmm. No, I think it's going to be most match points scored will be the criteria, not first takedown.
Okay,
that's what I think.
Guys, I want to throw you guys a question. I'm not going to answer this one. I want to ask you guys a question. All three of you. I want to know what Saturday morning's headlines are in the Iowa papers.
Yeah, we don't do Tuesday headlines.
Yeah, we haven't done those.
We don't do. We used to do Tuesday headlines, but we haven't done those. I said Iowa falls just short. Penn State wins on tiebreaker 6.
let's say what I
Tom's the hero. That's
Iowa's
yours.
still in it. Iowa's still in it.
Wait, so what? Wait, Christian, what was your team score? Just do it real quick in your head.
No.
What do you mean no? Do
I'm not good
freaking
at math fast. I'm
Do
stupid.
math.
No.
Yes. All right, you picked. Let me say. I'll just do your math for you. You picked Ayala. That's
Yes.
3. You picked RB Wide. That's 3. You picked Nick Lee. That's 6. You picked Bo Bartlett. That's 6.
No, I didn't.
Right?
I picked Max.
You freaking wimp. 9.
6'6".
Okay, 6'6". Sorry, 6'6". You picked Caleb Young. That's 9. You picked Alex Murray. That's 12. You picked Starocki. That's 9. You picked Aaron Brooks. That's 12. You picked Mike Dean. That's 15. You picked Tone. That's 15. So you got 15-15 also. Tiebreaker. Who's your tiebreaker going to?
Hey,
Oh, wait, did you pick Aaron Brooks by major?
No, he did.
I did. And I have it 19-12 Penn State final.
You have a 19-12 Penn State. You got 15-15 to Christian. Who's winning the tiebreaker? Don't pull a Shane and not pick a winner.
Penn State tiebreaker.
Ooh.
Romans.
Which tiebreaker?
Nick
Same one?
Lee's. I don't know all the criteria, but I think match points is most likely.
Match points.
I think it's always crazy when match
It's
points
number
are
of
tied.
matches won first.
Yeah, and I
Then
have.
But they're gonna be
falls,
5-5.
then match points.
Yeah,
Same.
It should be
so
match
guys,
points.
and here's another thing I love
Don't
about
lose a
this
team
duel.
point, Tom or Kale.
Yeah, that's a really good point. But this is what I love about dual meet wrestling. If it's going to come down to match points, which is, solid likelihood, every point matters. Like you can't be up by 5 and settle there. Like you're up by even 4 points heading into the third period. It can't be. You gotta get some more points. And people, that's a knowledgeable fan base. People are into this. Everybody's going to be aware of that. Everything's going to be big.
Yeah. Dang it, we didn't get to any questions. We had some good ones.
All
Any
right, same for
voicemails?
tomorrow. We need some voicemails tomorrow. Come on, JD, get those voicemails going,
Yeah.
baby.
People need to call in. I'm sure people have plenty to talk about after this duel. And here's my favorite Iowa duel because we finally got closure in 2017 on who killed Harambe.
Apparently, Kale.
Kale killed Harambe.
That's a classic
Yes,
sign.
what a great way to close the show.
They put that
I love
right behind him. Man, thank
Oh
you,
my
Shane.
God.
Thank you, Ben. So tomorrow's show, I'll be on at some point. I will be in the Detroit airport waiting to connect.
Oh,
to
just me and you, JD?
Cedar Rapids. No, I'll be on. Don't even think about it. 'Cause
Kosek's going to join for a little bit, too.
I'm widening the gap tomorrow, Ben. I'm going to pull away further in these
Hey,
picks.
send me those picks. I need to do my research.
Yeah, you better.
And we're going to talk a little Eureka, too, because brackets came out
Yeah,
today.
you better pack a lunch. We're going to talk. We got a lot to talk about, a lot of picks to make. Can't wait for tomorrow. Can't wait for Friday. Holy cow. Thanks, Shane. And thank you guys
You
so
guys
much
have a
for
great
listening.
day.
We'll be back
See you in Iowa City,
tomorrow,
Christian.
same time. See you then. Thank you. Goodbye.
Peace.